I'm confused with what the government's proposing and promising today. So Boris Johnson said quite clearly that from September he wanted all children back every day without fail. But I'm not entirely clear that that's what you're committing to. Have you signed up to that pledge in full, that all state school children will be able to go in every day, every week, not on rotation? And is this now government policy, yes or no? And how much of a plan do you have to get there? Is one option actually getting rid of social distancing altogether? Or are you going to plan to spend the summer helping schools get new buildings and recruit new teachers for classrooms that are not yet built? Because unless you do one or the other, then the Prime Minister's suggestion isn't going to be fulfilled today. And a second thing, private schools from the start of lockdown have been able to do interactive video lessons on Microsoft Teams or on Zoom, you know, teachers looking kids in the eye. But this hasn't been possible in almost any state school. Why on earth not? Shouldn't it be? Isn't failing to get proper interactive teaching at home the biggest black mark of your department during lockdown?
Well, Sam, I'm very sorry that you're so confused. And to be absolutely clear, absolutely signed up to the fact that we want to bring every child back in every year group, in every school. So I hope that is as much clarity. And as I did just say a little bit earlier, that over the next 2 weeks, we want to consult closely with the sector before we issue our guidance and our plans wider across secondary schools, across primary schools, across all settings and FE colleges as well. And you highlight an important issue, a really important issue about children and their ability to learn while they've been in lockdown. I want to see every child, get the very most from their teachers, as I know every teacher does. And we've seen some amazing efforts and some amazing work. If I look at the Oak National Academy that we set up in record time, that's delivering lessons for every single year group across every single subject range, not just in GCSE level, in secondary schools, but at primary schools and early years as well. And just over the last few weeks, over 12 million lessons have been downloaded. And I was hoping that you were going to even welcome the fact that we've made over £100 million investment in terms of laptops, which we're rolling out to some of those children who are from the most disadvantaged and vulnerable backgrounds, and making sure that they have internet access. But we see the ability to support their learning is not just over the last few weeks and over the next few weeks, but a long-term project. And that's why we've launched the COVID catch-up plan to help children, not just over the next few weeks, not just over the summer, but over the next year, supporting them to learn. And the other initiative that we took up, and I'm sorry that Sky didn't have the opportunity to report on it, but we made available to every single school in England Microsoft Teams and Google Classroom, just like you highlighted that many private schools have had, so that every school is able to match what the very best private schools are able to do. Because I don't want any child who is in the state sector suffering or falling behind anyone else, and that is why we're spending £1 billion supporting children to catch up, supporting them to learn. Sam, would you...
But what proportion of state schools are actually doing interactive video learning on things like Microsoft Teams? My understanding is that it's incredibly low, and isn't that a problem?
Well, we've seen every school around the country delivering amazing support for children. Sometimes that has been through Microsoft Teams and through Google. In other ways, it's making sure that resources go to the children at their home. It's through teachers contacting those children. But this is a bigger effort that we're making. It's a £1 billion effort that we're investing in schools, and we're looking at some of those children from the most disadvantaged backgrounds, because actually a lot of the evidence points to the fact that those are the children we need to be most worried about, that they may have fallen the furthest behind. And that's why we're introducing this tutoring programme. And all the evidence points to the fact that this tutoring programme can deliver the biggest benefit for those children, have the biggest impact on their life chances. And it's certainly something that I hope that we've seen right across the sector. So many people welcome it because they realise and they understand this is going to make a massive difference to children's lives. And I hope it will do to your children as well, Sam.